Okay, now we're live. What's up, guys? Happy hump day. Thanks for coming over to the DFS 5-pack. If you can do me a flat-out solid, press the like button, guys. Let's try to get this thing up closer to 100. We'll drop a members-only free for one of these days here. Not just to be nice, but also because with baseball starting tomorrow, we just have a little less time.
Yeah, for sure. Really excited about baseball coming up, but does mean that NBA, for me at least, might take a little bit of a back seat, but I'll still be covering it, still be looking at it, and I know it's the same for you with baseball.
Exactly. I will probably be, this is the way we kind of do our crossover for those of you guys who maybe have only been watching the show a little bit. Matt is obsessed with baseball like a dog with a bone, like it's his thing. So once baseball season starts, he pushes a little heavier focus onto baseball, or basketball take a backseat. I kind of stick with basketball, and I pay attention to baseball, but like if we have a main focus, like a 1 and a 1A, that's kind of how it breaks down. That's how it's been. Come NBA playoff time, it's my number one DFS sport. Baseball is your number one DFS sport. So we'll continue to rock things that way. And if you have questions, that way you kind of know where to guide them and bring them to.
Yeah, excited, man. Just excited about everything we got going on. Still excited about NBA and something that you love. The playoffs are coming sooner than later.
This is, to me, last year was a little weird because of the bubble and everything like that. But this NBA playoffs, we broke it down for a while on members only. This is exciting. I mean, there are teams out there this year. Like, I think we're 3 deep in the East with my Bucks, Milwaukee and Philly. I think they're all, I would give Brooklyn the odds end right now, but I think the other team's got a chance. And I think the West, like if Bron and AD get healthy, they're my favorites. But whether you want to talk about the up and down Clippers, this Jazz team right here, like I think we're going to have ourselves a great playoff this year, and it's a little wide open, and I'm so excited for it.
Amen to all that.
All right, guys. So today, let's talk about our good friends over at Drafters. Sign up and play, promo code DFS5-PAT. But quite frankly, I don't care if you use our promo code or not. I will make that my daily begging of the members here and the watchers. Get into these daily drafts with us. We got about a group of like a dozen or so customers that we do daily drafts with. We've been doing NBA now almost every day, not always on the weekends, but almost every day. And we're going to be doing baseball when it starts too. So we're going to run these things daily. The name of the website is Drafters. There's a link to a Facebook group below. Join that if you want to be on that. If you're not on Facebook, hit me up directly, and I'll figure out ways to get you invited to some of these drafts. We run them in the afternoon normally, which is really important for NBA. But I also want to give a quick shout out to Papa Steve 523, aka Steve Casey, with the big win yesterday. Took it down pretty easily. Oh, I didn't even notice this. I guess I passed you for worthless third place at the very last minute because you were ahead of me the whole time. But none of it mattered because Volatile Jerk, aka Sean, and Steve Casey, number 1, whooped our tails yesterday. Got to get back after it today and try to recoup a really bad run of it yesterday. So I'm excited for this, guys. Come play with us.
Same. Man, tough day yesterday for both of us, but I know I won one the day before. You had a couple in a row before that. So we'll get back on it, and I'm hyped to do some Drafters baseball.
Yeah, guys, and we announced the winners here. We're going to be doing this every day. So Steve Casey's the winner. Actually, you want to be the winner? You want to get announced on the show? You got to come play.
Mm-hmm.
We got new stuff going on the website. I've been talking to a lot of you guys personally over the last couple of days, but we now offer weekly memberships. We took away daily, all available at the website link below. Let's talk about where we're going for our players today. Cash lock, Mike Conley. So last night, Donovan Mitchell got ruled out for personal reasons. So I don't really need to explain this one any further. It's not much different than Westbrook yesterday, right? Like just play him. It just makes too much sense in cash games. He's going to be huge chalk. He gets a usage bump. He gets to take extra shots. For those of you guys who like, narratives, he's playing his old team again. No Donovan Mitchell, no Donovan Mitchell, no Spider-Man. That's all I need to know right here.
Yeah, so much to like here. Very, very affordable at $5,800. No Mitchell going back to Memphis. I mean, he's a cog in the machine. I think you just plug in all formats and move along.
Yeah, it's tough not to, you got to look at Utah today. How aggressive and assertive you want to be on them, that's on you. But like Conley's in play at this price tag without Mitchell,
right?
Or with Mitchell. Without him, it's kind of just an easy plug and play option. The game could get lopsided because it's the modern NBA. But if you're going to fade him, go do it in GPPs.
100% agree.
So speaking of GPPs, there's Yesterday I did the show solo and we talked about Terrence, or I talked about Terrence Mann, but he was kind of listed under GPP plays for you. And I've used Satoransky a lot in the same mold today. If we find out Kobe White and Zach LaVine play, I'm not going to end up here. But both of those guys are banged up and firmly questionable. And this Bulls team is pretty deep in decent players. And Saddle likes to be kind of just the operator of the offense. If like LaVine and Kobe White aren't around, this guy could play 38 minutes today and be the point guard for, the entire time he's out there.
Yeah, kind of a cross between the GPP play and a long shot, because as of right now, we just don't know. But Satoransky could end up being a guy that looks like a really nice play in all formats if both LaVine and Kobe White are out. Satoransky is never a guy you're gonna feel like, oh my God, he's gonna win me a tournament tonight. But again, kind of like Conley, but just at a cheaper price point, a really nice filler piece that has the potential to become much more than that if those guys are out. Only looking here if one of them are out. If both LaVine and Kobe White play, I'm not really looking at Satoransky. But if one of them's out, I like him quite a bit. And if both are out, I can't get here fast enough.
So another point that I know for those of you guys who can pay a lot of attention, which you do some nights, some of you guys can every night, some of you guys don't any nights, but if you can really pay attention, you may not get Kobe White or Zach LaVine knows till later, which would keep his ownership even lower than it's already going to be. Throwing that the Suns are on a back-to-back, also I don't know, what if Chris Paul doesn't play today? That just weakens the Suns' overall team defense. This could be an even better play, hypothetically, and it might be one you want to kind of keep reserved in your utility spot for one of these later games.
100%.
So, all right, let's keep moving on down the list. Let's talk about DDR, DeMar DeRozan. I want to bring up that this is a mutual play, but this is definitely GPP preferable. He's going to be very low owned. I tossed him into a GPP the other day in the same matchup. He was super low owned. Now, he didn't play very well, but that's, a byproduct of White played well. Murray was awesome in the first, half, like we kind of talked about. Another one of those, Spurs guys played well. And then they just hit a cold spot, and DeRozan was just off. He had 5 shots, circle the rim and bounce out. I think there's a real opportunity for him with his price down to come in low owned today and be a very solid, a 6X type of performance. This is a big game for the Spurs, who are currently listed in the A seed, playing against the Kings, who are a little hot right now, trying to catch them in that 8 seed. So I expect a better, Greg Popovich type of team performance here.
A bunch of his games recently have played out weird, blowouts, whatever the case may be. Cross spot against Sacramento. Liked him last time out. He ended up not being great, but the exact same spot, probably even lower ownership, lower price point. I'm a huge DeRozan fan, and I like him a ton here.
There's a bunch of solid plays today up and down the court, but one thing to bring up is guard spots are at a premium today, whether it be, any of the Jazz guys, Satoransky, James Harden, you name it. DeRozan's got small forward eligibility, which is nice for him because you can kind of saddle him up on there. We might get even more cheap plays throughout the day, so it's easy to afford multiple big money guys. Again, I think I had him at 3% the other day, and he was bad. You think he only had 31.5 DK points, but I watched a lot of that game. Some days the ball just doesn't fall in the hoop. We've seen DeRozan with a bunch of high 40s performances this year. There's no reason he can't meander into that today, and then a big game for San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, speaking of the San Antonio Spurs, my long shot of the day is going to be another guy from the San Antonio Spurs. Love picking on the Kings. And even though the Kings are playing well right now, winners of 5 straight, they still give up a ton of DFS points. They play fast. They're not a very defensive-oriented team. Jacob Poeltl at 5,800 might seem expensive, but this is a guy who's 6X or better in 4 of the last 9 games. He's played 30-plus minutes in 3 straight. With no LaMarcus Aldridge, his minutes have been very, very safe. He's always a guy that puts up good DFS points when he plays, but because of the way Popovich runs his rotation, it's always been kind of scary to go take a look at it. His minutes have been pretty consistent lately. And even to throw in those 4 GPP games, he's got a couple cash game performances there as well. This is a good spot. He did whatever he wanted the entire game against the Kings the other day.
Yeah, really good spot. And I think that both of our long shots, I know both of our long shots are centers. I think they're long shots because other guys are just going to get more love here. Again, much like DeRozan, same spot, really, really high upside against the Kings team that just gives it up to everyone. We saw Poeltl's upside the last time he played in this same spot. I like going right back here. And again, I just don't think anyone's going to get to him.
Projected for single-digit ownership, I think it's 6 or 7% right now. So, that could be 9, that could mean 4, who the heck knows. But either way, it ain't a lot, right? Like he's coming in
Yeah.
low owned, and he's a guy again he seems pricey, but he's a good DFS player, like a lot of centers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, another center. So I always enjoy when this happens. So I spent about 20 minutes. I spent half of our members only video talking you into Jonas Valanciunas, and then he became your long shot over mine. This may seem like a lot of money to spend on him, but he's got 44 plus in 7 of 10. And also, I think it's counterintuitive to a lot of NBA fans to look at somebody going up against Utah and they think of Gobert, multiple-time defensive player of the year, and you're like, well, why do I want to play a center against him? Gobert is not like a premier one-on-one center defender. What he's great against is just keeping all the guards and forwards out of the paint.
Yeah, I mean, Jonas has a lot of girth on Rudy here. We saw it play out the first time these guys matched up a couple games ago. They played a back-to-back recently, and J-Val had a really, really nice game. You mentioned it. He's got nice upside, 44 plus and 7 of 10, playing really well, playing more minutes than we had seen at the beginning of the year. Memphis is another one of these teams that needs all the wins that they can get. I think this game is really, really competitive. I give Memphis a good shot to win this game. And while everyone flocks to the Utah side, I think that J-Val is really sneaky, priced affordably. He's not like too cheap, but he's certainly not too expensive. And man, the more we talked about it on our members only video, the more I dug it.
So, especially for like the GPP realm, which is mostly where you would go at J-Val anyway, like if you're stacking the Jazz, like let's say you're all in Conley, Clarkson, Ingles, and you even throw in like a Bogdanovich or Royce O'Neal or anything like that, you are playing for this game to be competitive for 4 quarters. If this game is competitive for 4 quarters and those guys are balling, there's a really good opportunity that playing a Valanciunas would correlate along with that. If you've watched the Grizzlies lately, I know we all thought of this as, Morant's team to start the year, and it still probably is, but they have been feeding Valanciunas. He is a rebounding machine right now. He is a monster individual, and it is really difficult to stop him from doing whatever he wants, just, due to his size and skill set when he gets rolling. And he's rolling right now. The minutes have been more consistent, and he can absolutely do whatever he wants against Utah if they give him the opportunity. They've been doing that consistently lately. He's a scary roster. I'm a big J-Val fan, but his lack of minutes some days, and just the fact that we've seen him fall out of favor, like he's helping them win right now. And like you mentioned, they need all the wins they can get. So I'm less scared than I normally am. And I've probably only rostered Valanciunas like 3 times all year.
Same.
So I don't know. A lot to be intrigued by here. He's another guy coming in with under 5% ownership today. I think you look at that price tag and think he's too expensive. But we saw this when he first got to Memphis. This guy was tossing up 50 burgers in like 24 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, he was. Even he was hurt for a while. His first game back, this season he played against Toronto, his old team, and he put up 50.
Yeah, he's a good DFS player. He's one of the better rebounders in the game.
Yeah,
that I think goes a little underrated for what he brings from that. Like just look at the 10 games he has up on his DK log right now, like double-digit rebounds every single game.
His game was not really built for today's NBA. It just wasn't, in my opinion. He's girthy, he's skilled. He's very skilled and he's girthy, but he's slowish and, fast-paced teams, like it's hard for him to stay on the court.
Like he can shoot the 3 just well enough that you have to give him the subtlest little bit of respect, but not to the point that you have to guard him out there or something like that. Like he's better than like an Andre Drummond, who might be the best rebounder in the game, but still not a guy that you need to fear. So you want a guy to spread the floor a little bit more in the modern NBA, and he's more paint.
Yeah, he's a true center. He can shoot a little bit, like you mentioned, and he does that. Like he does that pump fake, like that ball fake all the time. That looks like his 3-point shot. So he can shoot it, but as far as like who he can defend, only the other center.
Yeah, you would like him. Man, if he could ever develop his 3-point shot, which I doubt he will, to be like Brook Lopez or Nikola Jokic type of fear, I mean, that would take his game to the next level. Unfortunately, I don't see that ever happening.
Like I see it hard to believe, like if he were on the Grizzlies when they used to play the Warriors, he wouldn't have been able to be on the court.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you're right. You'd have to go small with him, but that's also why it's not a bad matchup with Utah because they have Gobert and they're bigger. It's more likely he's going to see his full minutes. I think he only played 21 in the tail end of the back-to-back the other day. But this is a guy that they won't push hard minutes onto. And I want to say, did he have 2 days off before this?
I think so. Yeah, they didn't play yesterday, and I don't think they. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Which is better for him. And this is a game that they got earmarked to win.
No doubt about that.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today. We appreciate y'all tuning in and paying attention. We might have some videos out tonight. We got baseball starting tomorrow, so we start to double sport. Great time to buy a membership to get all the members-only videos and everything that goes along with it. Let me know if you got any questions. And for paying customers, if you haven't been able to get into the members-only, I'll be fixing the rest of that this afternoon.
Thanks a lot, guys.